Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today we're going to do this a little bit raw since I'm running really late. Life keeps getting in the way. Let's talk The Walking Dead comic issue 173 dropped today, and I really want to discuss something in the letter hacks that's just gnawing at me, but I don't want to forget it, so maybe we'll just get to the story and then discuss the letter hacks. So, man, I gotta write myself a note because again, this is gonna be unedited and a little bit raw. So let's dive in here. All right, so I probably couldn't predict this magazine, this issue, in a million years. With that being said, it's probably one of the few issues of The Walking Dead, probably since early on. There was a handful of issues that just didn't really do anything for me. It didn't dilute my love for the series at all. It was kind of like, okay, I'm glad I can read through that quickly and move on because I had the compendiums. There was another one recently that just didn't do a whole lot for me, but this one in particular, it was a whole wad of letdown. Mainly because the beta thing, we had Alpha, and I accepted the fact that Negan killed her, okay. And I even said that Negan shouldn't be the one to kill her because the story feels like it would take a hit. Something epic would leave. I forget my exact words. You can go back and rewatch that video. However, with Beta and the Whisperers still out there, I got all these ideas of, and you guys can go back and rewatch the other videos of what I was expecting for the Whisperer War, leading the herd in, No Way Out combined with the All Out War, Whisperers hidden among the walkers, opening doors, leading the walker herd in the houses, so people aren't protected, stabbing people just coming out of nowhere in the herd. They didn't go that route, so I thought, okay, you know what? The leftover Whisperers are going to do some damage. Beta shows up behind Aaron and a sleeping Aaron and a Jesus, and at that moment I'm thinking, man, one of them's got to go down. Well, I think I did talk about Beta going down because it would be way too predictable, and we did discuss this. A lot of people thought it was Jesus. I thought that was so impossible, I didn't even mention it in the cover review because it's just too predictable. Final fight, you have Jesus looking wounded. There's no way they're doing that and having him be the one that's killed. But I argued that Beta, there's only a hint here. They didn't show straight up it's Beta, so he's most likely the one that will die. By the hands of Negan, I think I predicted. So now I'm thinking, you get the Whisper War, the final fight, okay, someone's going to die, but there has to be something left over. You have these Whispers, there's zero rush to bring them back. They can be patient, they can wait out there, they can build their armies again. You can bring them back in issue 300 if you wanted. There's no rush to get them back. However, it feels like we quickly rush. There's a new world story arc coming, and they don't fit in that story. But then a part of me is thinking, just save them for after, Let fans stew and bitch and complain. Where's Beta? Where the hell did he go? Bring him back later, but they don't. They bring him back here. Jesus does some ridiculous fighting, and this is something that I have a problem with in TV, comic books. I know a lot of people, when the TV's doing bad and a lot of fans want to say the comic is better, which there's moments where the TV handles something that's way better than the comic. There's moments where the comic is just far superior than what they got on the show. And then there's moments where it's a tie. The Billy and Ben and Lizzie and Mika, perfect examples for me personally. I can't pick which one is better. I love them equally, how those storylines play out. Now, with the comic book and when the TV show, when people were picking on it about war and the governor and fighting, I remember one of my arguments or debates was, well, in the comic you have Michonne and Tyrese standing right there for part of the war in front of armed governor's guys, and they're just jumping out of the way of gunfire. Insanely unrealistic, but it's a comic book, I said, so it works in that medium. But this fight too, Beta jumps up with his knives, Jesus has him dead to rights, but then Beta's fast enough to use the knives to knock the gun away, and then Jesus does some whole flip shit. I think he gets cut in the arm, and then Beta moves out of the way of getting shot, and he gets his trench coat shot. Like, these things just rip me right out of the story and the enjoyment of the story. Even Jesus makes a comment. He's like, how are you so fast? It's a comic book. That's how he's so fast. He should have got shot and killed. And then I thought, okay, fine. They're going out of the way to give Beta plot armor. They got something epic coming. He's going to get away. And he said, you guys can't find our positions yet. We're not ready. And I'm thinking, okay, Beta's going to get away. And then we're going to know they're up to something, right? No, Beta just gets shot. He just gets shot by Eren. So, okay. Beta did something very dumb. Led some walkers to the group, gets shot, he's dead, and they lift off his mask, and a lot of us were right. I believe I was in the camp that, as well as a lot of you, the only logical conclusion why he wouldn't want to show his face is because he was somebody famous. He's not scarred, we see that. He's not somebody that our group knew, because why would the Whisperers not need to see his face? It doesn't make any sense. If Rick knew him, and the Whisperers didn't know him, it doesn't matter if they see his face or not. So it ends up being he is famous, and then he's a basketball player or something. And this is a real weird part. Maybe this has to maybe I got to reread this a few times and I'll like it a little bit better. Again, I don't think it's absolute trash. It's not the ending of Beta I would have preferred. If you laid down 5 different options, this probably would have been one of the last options I would pick for Beta. But still, it's an acceptable way for him to go out. But he jumps up and he just says, I have no name, no name, no, and just falls down dead. And that's pretty much it. It just didn't do it for me. I like how Maggie is being consumed by her just rage, anger, hatred for Negan, that it looks like she's probably going to go out there. She asks Dante to wait, and I'm assuming that's to question him about everything that's going on out there. Now we move to Carl and Lydia, and this doesn't do anything for me. I'm not interested in the love triangle thing. I like the idea of having Carl best friends with Sophia. I talk about this in almost every different franchise, whether it's Carol and Daryl on the show being best friends, and they have this bond, this love that if Carol's in danger and Daryl finds out about it, I know, like, there's that passion, fire, and fury. Daryl's gonna go to the edge of the earth to help her out. I love that in TV shows. The Stranger Things has characters that it's a male and female that are best of friends. That ended up being the whole, not this one, and then with this one we got the same thing going on. I'm fine with the best friends. I like that aspect. However, it seems like Lydia's a little bit pissed, and that's something Carl was afraid of, getting her pissed before, because Carl goes to help Sophia. Anyhow, long story short, I enjoy the stories where, let's say, Lydia, maybe she's not all thrilled about the idea, but Carl's best friends with Sophia. They have history together, but there's some dynamic there. She's not thrilled about it. It's a little more lighthearted than it is just having Lydia just straight up pissed about it. And again, that could be some serious nitpick on my part. When it comes to certain relationships and yada, 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 some of them, I don't know what the fuck, something flew past my head, or maybe I'm just seeing shit. 9 times out of 10, it's not a direction I personally find entertainment in. I don't enjoy reading it much. So that could be a nitpicking on my part. And then we got back at the Whisperer camp, right? Apparently the Whisperers have recruited or tried to recruit this father, mother, and son from the looks of it. And does he say a name? Yeah, he says... he's right, Mike. I can't do this either. So they do call him by name, and the one Whisperer gets all annoyed by it, and he goes to kill the family, but Eren and Jesus show up, and it looks like they kill them all. They kill the last of the... you can't really tell, actually, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and Eren does shoot one, he kicks another down. Okay, yeah, so he kills them all. He puts a knife through one's head, and then he invites those people, that family, back to Alexandria to live, or to the hilltop, sorry, because that's the direction they're going, if they're still going that direction. Again, that's like that's the end of the Whisperers, it would seem, unless they're really gonna surprise us later on. But then they would have to bring some new Whisperer leader. Like, we have to reconnect, and they have to show us why they're awesome and epic. And at the end of the day, it's like, why didn't you just leave Beta or Alpha still alive to so that way we have this connection now? If they bring another Whisperer leader, will it seem old, redundant? Will we now have a third Whisperer leader to to get connected to. You know what I mean? One cool thing. I love iced tea. One cool thing, right? Rick gets down at Andrea's grave, and he gets back up. I do like this. We have this mourning side to Rick, and now they're going a subtle way. I thought they might make this into a bigger part of the storyline, but just off of this page alone with these 5 panels, it seems like this is shown as growth. He's not broken down, laying down and falling asleep on her grave. He says goodnight and he gets up. Unless this is something he also does, where some nights he goes to bed at her grave and some nights he just says goodnight and goes. I saw this as Rick is healing. Slowly, but he's healing. And then Dwight and Laura are there, and I love how Laura tells Dwight off. So that part I liked. I think Dwight's acting like a dick. I love Dwight going into the New Beginning and the Whisper of War. Really love Dwight. But I think he's acting like a dick, and she put it perfectly. She took the words right out of my mouth. She talked about the woman who fucked you over constantly. And that's the Sherry in the comics. That's what she did. And then we get to the final images where they're crossing over an old train tracks. It looks like, not train track, but like a train station or train station / train graveyard. I don't know. I'm assuming that's close to the train station. Anyway, we got words real big at the end that says, put your weapons down and put your hands in the air now. And then we see these guns with knives on the end of them. Now, I don't really remember if those guns and the knives were part of the soldiers from the New World story arc. I was kind of, again, at this point, I'm a little underwhelmed with the issue, and I kind of was looking forward to having that nice cliffhanger to really kick us off or really leave us with something. And we didn't get it. We got a POV shot of the group. Again, still an acceptable cliffhanger, still an interesting cliffhanger. I guess I wanted something, since I didn't really enjoy this issue too much. I wanted something in the end to go, oh, like something epic artwork of maybe these soldiers from the New Beginning, the New World story arc that we keep hearing about. But we already got a preview of that, but I thought maybe like, because covers, sometimes they're symbolic, they're not exact all the time. So maybe that airplane sounded like it was a fucking bomb coming out of the air. I'm like, oh shit, North Korea, they found us. So, yeah, I don't know. It was good, but real quick, let me touch on 2 things that annoyed the shit out of me. Back in the back of the letter hacks, we have one idiot talking about, oh, when you finally give Andrea a last name and you have to give her a guy's name. You have to give her Rick's name. I'm just sitting here like, do people seriously write and think this shit, you know? Like, they were in love, they got married, that's the norm. I mean, even if that's just, like, seriously, what if she wanted to? There's women that just whatever. You can't have a character, do something like, I want to be Mrs. Grimes. Like, God forbid Andrea wants that. God forbid that being her in this new world. She died as Andrea Grimes, not who she was before. Like, that's who she is now. And God forbid, like, you have one asshole or more assholes go, oh no, that's, how dare you take a man's name. And then you think about it like, it's a man's name regardless. So instead of, whatever, stupid. And then the other person got offended because they were annoyed at, Magna. Now this goes 2 different directions. They were offended because they said they're lesbian or their friends are lesbians, and they were like, oh, why'd you have to just have them making out? That offended me. Why couldn't you do something more subtle or something different? First off, I think other than the whole I'm offended, I think there is a debate around, could you do it in a more subtle way or a different way? Yeah, sure. Whatever fans enjoy, or maybe you didn't like that. Maybe you would have liked something that was a little more subtle where you had to read into it. Yeah, that's an honest criticism. However, you're offended because they revealed it that way is utterly ridiculous. But the second point I wanted to touch on, it hurts my brain. Someone was offended just by that. But the second point I wanted to touch on is, someone mentioned to Kirkman that there's no lesbian around in the world of The Walking Dead. So he said, okay, I have to fix that ASAP. And he made Magna a lesbian. And I'm against that. Like, to every core of my being, I'm absolutely against that. First off, when it was revealed that Magna was a lesbian, And I'm not against the lesbian characters. I'm against going, oh, right this very moment, if someone points that out, I need to create a lesbian character right this very moment. Yeah, I'm absolutely against that. Absolutely against that. When I was looking at the certain characters for my Doomsday Kingdom comic, I seen when I'm working in the restaurant industry, seen a lot of gay people, a lot of them in the restaurant industry. In my life, like in the factories, if they were gay, I didn't know about it. You know, in a restaurant industry, it's open, it's acceptable. You're gonna run into them more. I did between a factory and a restaurant. So when I'm looking at this bar nightclub, which I also worked in a bar nightclub, um, I look at it and go, okay, you know, this is an environment where in my life we had more gay people than in the. Okay, obviously there's going to be a gay server here. It fits that environment. Sure, we'll do that. Now, the gay server's not even in the story. I don't even know if he's going to be in the story, but I know eventually, you know, no one's going to force me to put that character in a story. If we don't happen to run into him, if maybe we don't have enough panels or we got to focus on the main characters only because he's not a main character, he's not going to be in it. He's just straight up not going to be in it. And then Kirkman, this is what disappoints me even more. Kirkman said he had this nice idea from the very beginning to make Yemiko, Magna's current girlfriend, make her, which I think there was subtle signs that she was interested in Magna, but Magna just didn't share the same feelings. And Kirkman's original idea, I absolutely love it, is that there was this subtle conflict there that Yumiko loved, Yumiko lesbian loved Magna. Magna straight did not share those same affections. However, close bond friendship to Yumiko. I really like that. The conflict is subtle. It introduces a lesbian character with more than just being in a lesbian relationship. And then down the line, you can insert something where Magna sees that, understands, you can build off of that, and maybe Yumiko finds somebody that she really cares about, and now you can insert Magna in there as a person who helps her attain that. Maybe they need to get rescued from something, or maybe there's a battle, or maybe Magna needs to be the one to give Yumiko that little bit of udge, right? or nudge. That's the word I'm looking for. Nudge, like, go for it, this, that, and the third. There's so much more, but the problem I feel, and this is where I disagree. I disagree with Kirkman doing it right away to appease the people or please the people who want a lesbian right this second. I think that's wrong, and I think you should get out of entertainment. Not Kirkman. Fans that say we want gay people now. I want a black guy now. I want this now. Give me, a Chinese character next issue now. Do it now. I disagree with that to the core of my being. It should be in line with the story. It should come in naturally with the story as a progression. If Kirkman said, yeah, you know what, there are no lesbians, but you know what, this Yumiko thing, we got Magna later on, there's going to be this dun-dun-dun, it's going to be 7 months, but we're going to get there. Put it in the letter hacks. Tell the people, like, hey, if you have patience, this character is coming. That's all I want to say. It's, in my opinion, it's a respectful disagree about certain issues like this, where I think fans got to stop saying, we want it now, I want it now. And creators need to stop listening to the fans, who are probably the loud minority, saying, I want it now. Like, there's things I want in The Walking Dead, but when you get to them, you get to them. And I'll be there when you get to them. I'm not going to drop the issue, just because I got to wait 5 issues just till the Whisperers come back into the story. I'm not going to drop the issue because you don't have any Native Americans, which don't do that. I don't want you to do that. But I'm just saying, I think it'd be really cool to have some Native Americans. Don't do that, though. Anyhow, this was issue 173. And I'm saying don't do that because we got a Native American character, a tribe, actually. Not a tribe. What am I talking about? It takes place on a reservation and shit, so we have a whole little group of Native American characters, and that is because I come from Native American descent, so I think that'd be real cool to highlight some. That's why I said don't do it Walking Dead. We already got it covered. So that's it for the Walking Dead 173. Again, I'm looking forward to next month's issue. This month's didn't really do anything, but again, I don't think it's garbage, and I haven't seen a single comment. I'm running so late today. I haven't seen one comment whether anyone liked it or didn't like it. I've avoided online social media all day today, so I could be the only person who did not like this issue. And it's a weird one. I don't want to say I did not like it. I just didn't love it. I thought it was just simply okay. Artwork still great. I loved certain parts of the artwork. It was nice seeing the Whispers again. I really like their look, but yeah, that's about it. And some of the atmosphere, I wish we get more of that, like when they were walking on the train tracks. I love some of that atmospheric vibe to it. Even in the comic book, you don't want to worry that you're not getting enough story and there's too much visual watching. Sometimes I think, especially if you're going to release double issues or have a bigger issue, it's nice to get more of the atmosphere, because I do love some of the atmosphere. So that's it for The Walking Dead. Real quick, let me toss this in here. I'm going to do a second update for the Doomsday Kingdom. I finally got the samples in for the day variant of the Feeding Post and the night variant of the Feeding Post. We did a really cool back cover. I love that, because the original cover was a wraparound, so we designed a new back cover. And these came in, and we're going to be shutting off the pre-orders soon, so I will leave a link down below. Please get your pre-orders in. Once the pre-orders go off, we will not be offering these for sale anymore. These are going to be really limited, so get your pre-orders in now. And that is I love that, the night variant and day variant. You can buy them in a set, or right now we have them, you can buy them separately, but they are costing us more to make. So these are not like $3 comics. These are not like $3.99 comics. They cost us definitely more than that to make. I think we're at like $6 each to print or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Let me go and look. It's either like 6 and change or something between printing and shipping costs, because they're different. Anyhow, let me look at that. And again, that's because we're not getting a huge bulk printed. So I will do an update on that and let you guys know, so that way we can shut down the pre-orders and then start shipping them out. But there is a delay on it, so I'll update you as soon as possible. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Leave your thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. What do you think of The Walking Dead issue 173? And also, what do you think of the story coming up? I'm actually really excited about the story coming up. But I'm a little bit cautious, because of the whole New World aspect. I still want, the zombie terror, the zombie horror. So hopefully we get a little bit of both. All right. Thanks for coming by, and hit that like button. And I appreciate all the support. Put your thoughts, opinions, theories, and predictions down in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Hold on. My hands are full. Got to have a gay character right now, right today. Son of a